Most people slow down after 70, but not everyone. There's a small group of men and women who continue to move, learn and lead long after others begin to fade. They're not lucky, nor are they superhuman. They've simply kept certain skills alive, and because of that, they've bought themselves more time. If you're between 70 and 80 and can still do the following 8 things, consider yourself rare. Each one is a sign of strength, clarity, and biological youth. And if you can't do all 8 yet, don't worry. I'll show you how to rebuild and protect your future. Stick with me until the end, because the final sign is the most powerful predictor of whether you'll thrive or slowly fade away. Can you get up from the floor without help? Forget the fancy diagnostics, the blood panels, wearable trackers, or expensive tests. There's one physical test that quietly predicts your independence, balance, coordination, and even your chances of longevity. It's simple. You don't need equipment. You don't need a doctor, just a clear patch of floor. Try this. Sit down on the ground, then stand back up without using your hands, knees, a chair, or anyone else for support. Can you do it? It may seem basic, but this ability reveals more about your functional health than almost any other test available. What it really measures is integration, not just strength in isolation, but how well your body parts work together. Your core stability, hip mobility, balance, proprioception, your body's awareness of space, and nervous system clarity. If any of these are off, this test will expose it instantly. Why this test matters? Here's what's fascinating. Studies have shown that seniors who can get up and down from the floor without assistance have a significantly lower risk of mortality. In fact, one study published in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology found that people over 50 who could do this had up to 5 times greater life expectancy than those who couldn't. Why? Because the ability to control your own body against gravity, getting from the floor up, is about more than muscle. It's about resilience. When you can rise from the floor on your own, you're telling your brain, this body is still capable, still stable, still safe. That message triggers everything from hormonal regulation to emotional confidence. Your nervous system stays calm, your gait stays strong, and your risk of falling decreases dramatically. The danger of falling. It's not the fall that causes the tragedy as we age. It's not being able to get back up. Think about it. If you trip in the kitchen, slip in the shower, or lose your balance outside, what determines the outcome isn't just the fall. It's whether you have the motor control and muscular coordination to get back up again. That ability doesn't come from walking alone. It comes from floor work, sitting, shifting, pivoting, and pressing your body off the ground. These movements, which most adults avoid after 60, are often tragically lost altogether. The good news: it can be rebuilt. But here's the hope. This ability can be rebuilt. You're not too old, too stiff, or too far gone. With the right movements, consistency, and mindset, you can train your body to respond again. You can teach it to trust itself again and get back up, literally and metaphorically. Where to begin? So where do you start? Begin small. Start small, building strength from the ground up. Once a day, start by using a pillow or yoga mat to cushion yourself. Practice crossing your legs, shifting your weight, and using support if needed, but work toward reducing that support over time. Activate your core, stretch your hips, and engage your glutes. Remember, your body is a system, and the floor is its classroom. The more you interact with it, the more your brain maps strength, balance, and coordination back into your nervous system. This isn't just about building physical power, it's about freedom. What does independence look like at 75? It's not about driving fast or lifting heavy objects. It's about being able to bathe safely, pick something up without tipping over, tend to your garden, sit with your grandchildren, get off the couch without strain, and walk through your home knowing your legs will hold you up and your body won't betray you. When you can rise from the floor without assistance, it tells the world, and more importantly yourself, that you're still in control. You still own your body, and that confidence changes everything. It helps you stay active, move more often, socialize more freely, and avoid the spiral that many seniors fall into: fear of falling, less movement, more weakness, and even greater fall risks. You stay in motion, and motion is what keeps you alive. The test: can you rise unassisted? So test yourself honestly. If you struggle to rise from the floor without using your hands, don't panic, but also don't ignore it. That struggle is a a call to action. Your body is asking for support, strength, and attention. Don't wait until you have time. Start today. Begin with 2 minutes of floor time. Add gentle squats to your routine. Stretch your hips daily and strengthen your core 3 times a week. None of this is extreme, but all of it is essential, because in the end, this one ability, getting up from the ground, is not just a physical movement. It's a metaphor for how you face aging, how you respond to challenges, and how you live the rest of your life with strength, grace, and the quiet confidence of someone who doesn't just endure old age, but rises in it. The power of grip strength, a reflection of vitality. You can carry your own groceries. It might seem like a small thing, something you do without thinking. A bag in each hand, a few steps from the car to the kitchen. But if you can still carry your own groceries, your body is telling you something powerful. You are aging well. Because this isn't just about lifting bags, it's about independence, strength, and the resilience of your nervous system. More than that, it's about what your hands reveal about your heart, your brain, and your future. Grip strength may seem like just a fitness metric, but research says otherwise. According to studies published in The Lancet, the Journal of Gerontology, and numerous aging institutes worldwide, grip strength is one of the most accurate predictors of early death. In fact, it can reveal more about your health trajectory than blood pressure, cholesterol, or even body weight. Why? Because grip strength reflects your overall vitality. When your hands are strong, your nervous system is firing, your muscles are responsive, your bones are sturdy, and your cardiovascular system is engaged. But when your grip weakens, not from injury, but from neglect, something else happens. Your body begins to shut down quietly. Muscles shrink, blood flow diminishes, balance becomes unsteady, and your confidence starts to fade. The slide into weakness. You start avoiding opening jars. You hesitate to pick up objects. You stop lifting bags from the trunk. Little by little, your world begins to shrink. Not because of age, but because of disuse. Here's the truth no one tells you. You can stop that slide. You can restore strength, even in your 70s or 80s. Even if your hands ache, even if you've been sedentary for years. Your muscles don't forget how to respond. They're just waiting for the signal. And that signal starts the moment you decide to challenge them again, safely, consistently, and with intention. Carrying your own groceries is one of the simplest, clearest tests of this ability. Can you lift a bag without pain? Can you carry it from one room to another without dropping it? Can you move something across the kitchen without feeling strained? If the answer is yes, that's not just a functional win, that's a sign of cellular health. It means your joints are still coordinated, your bones are bearing load, and your grip hasn't faded with time. But if the answer is no, if you're struggling to carry things, if bags feel heavier than they used to, if your fingers lose strength, or your wrists tremble, don't ignore it. That's not just weakness, it's a warning. It's your body asking for help, not pills, not surgery, but movement, resistance, and nutrients. The power of grip strength. Here's what happens when you train your grip. Your brain sharpens. Cognitive studies have shown that grip strength correlates with brain function. Seniors with strong hands often have better memory, quicker reaction times, and fewer signs of cognitive decline. Why? Because grip strength isn't just about the hands. It reflects how well your brain communicates with your body, how fast your nerves fire, and how stable your spinal cord remains. When your grip weakens, your brain follows. But the opposite is also true. When your grip returns, your mental clarity rises. Grip strength also supports your heart. Every time you hold weight, your cardiovascular system is activated. Blood pumps more efficiently, vessels dilate, and your heart rate stabilizes under pressure. Unlike intense cardio, grip training is low impact. A simple dead hang, a light kettlebell hold, or a firm squeeze of a rubber ball builds endurance at the deepest level, not just in muscle, but in circulatory resilience. How to rebuild your grip strength. So what can you do? Start with intentional lift. Carry one grocery bag in each hand and walk slowly around your home. Squeeze a towel tightly and hold for 10 seconds. Use a gripper tool once a day while watching TV. Hang from a bar if you're able, even with your feet still on the ground. These movements might seem basic, but they rebuild connection. They reawaken the nerves in your fingers, strengthen your forearms, and most importantly, remind your brain that your hands still work. And remember this, your hands aren't just tools, They're messenger. They reflect how much you still engage with life, how much you cook, clean, lift, move, carry and protect. When your hands are strong, your posture improves, your gait becomes more secure, your breath deepens, and you feel more present, more alive. The freedom to live fully. That's why this isn't about vanity or toughness. It's about freedom. The freedom to carry your own bags, grab your own suitcase, pick up your grandchild, open your own jar, and live without hesitation. That is dignity. Health is power. So the next time you carry a bag into your kitchen, pause for a moment. Feel the strength in your fingers, the steadiness in your wrist, the confidence in your stride. And remember, this is your health speaking. You can remember names, tasks, and details without confusion. There's something sacred about memory. Not just because it helps us remember names, appointments, or where we left our keys, but because it holds the essence of who we are. It holds our history, our relationships, our story. And when we can still access those things clearly, even in our 70s or 80s, we haven't just aged well, we've protected something deeply human. The myth of inevitable memory loss. Most people think memory loss is an inevitable part of age. They believe it's normal to forget names, to lose track of time, or to repeat the same story twice at dinner and forget you already said it. But that's not entirely true. Yes, some natural slowdown occurs, but confusion is not inevitable. Disorientation is not normal. Struggling to remember a familiar face or a daily task. This is a warning, not a standard part of aging. So if you can still remember people's names, if you can hold a sharp conversation without losing your train of thought, if you know what day it is, where you need to be, and why you walked into a room, then your brain is still firing well, and that's not luck. That clarity isn't something that just happens if you're lucky enough to avoid dementia. It's the result of a lifetime of engagement, a lifetime of reading, solving problems, writing, moving, connecting, learning, and staying mentally active, even when no one was watching. The brain is not just a storage box. Cognitive health doesn't just happen in the brain. It happens in the nervous system, in the gut, and in the habits you repeat or neglect every day. The brain is not a storage box that simply deteriorates. It's an active, living organ, and like any organ, it thrives under certain conditions and atrophies under others. One of the biggest factors is use. If you don't use your mind, it begins to retreat. If you stop learning, you stop retaining. If you stop asking questions, you stop caring about answers. If you stop reading, solving, exploring, your neurons stop growing. The synapses between thoughts begin to shrink, and that's when the fog starts to set in. The power of memory. But if you're still remembering people's names, you're still forming new connections. If you can still pay bills, keep appointments, retell a story clearly, or remember a joke long enough to share it, you're still active inside. You're still present, still connected to your environment. That's a skill, that's a practice, and it's a gift that must be protected. Because the moment memory starts to erode, it doesn't just affect how you think, it affects how you relate to the world. When you forget names, you pull back from people. When you forget conversations, you speak less. When you doubt your words, you stop telling your stories. You stop leading, you stop laughing, and you stop participating. Not because you want to, but because you feel unsure. The true danger of cognitive decline. That's the real danger of cognitive decline. Not just the forgetfulness itself, but the withdrawal it creates. The shrinking of your voice, the fading of your identity. Once that begins, it's not just the brain that suffers. The heart follows, the body slows, and motivation dies. Because without clarity, we begin to feel irrelevant. How to stay sharp? No pill can fix this. So how do you stay sharp? You stay engaged. You keep learning, even if it's something small. Challenge yourself to remember new names. Not because you have to, but because you can. Push yourself to read topics you're unfamiliar with. Write things by hand. Cook new recipes without checking the book. Tell your grandchildren the same story, but with more detail. Use your memory like a muscle, because it is one. You eat for your brain. You stay hydrated. You make sure to get enough omega-3s, vitamin D, and sleep. You move your body, not just for your heart, but because movement increases blood flow to the brain. Walking, resistance training, even stretching, anything that circulates oxygen through your system helps feed your focus. This isn't fitness. It's neurological maintenance. And perhaps most importantly, you connect. Conversation is mental exercise. Every time you tell a story, your brain retrieves a file. Every time you respond to someone, you organize your thoughts. Listen, react, and remember. Connection keeps the mind awake. Isolation, on the other hand, dims it slowly and cruelly. If you're still mentally sharp, don't downplay, honor it. Clarity isn't just a sign of intelligence. It's a sign of balance. It's a signal that your body, mind, and spirit are still in dialogue, still showing up, and still living, not just surviving. What to do when your mind slips? If you feel your mind slipping, don't panic, but don't ignore it either. Fight for it. Re-engage. Get curious again. Feed your mind the way you'd feed a muscle. After an injury, it's never too late to wake up the brain. No matter your age, it's still listening, still growing, and still capable of surprising you. You are not forgetful because you're old. You are forgetful because something in you stopped being used. And that can change, starting today. The power of walking. Can you walk at a moderate pace for 15 minutes without pain? It may not sound like much. A 15-minute walk, no incline, no weights, no marathon medal at the finish line. Just a steady pace, one foot in front of the other. But if you can do that, if you can walk briskly without needing to stop, without wincing in pain, without your breath catching or your knees seizing, this is not a small win. It's a sign that your body is still working in harmony. And at this stage of life, that harmony is more valuable than gold. Walking isn't just exercise, it's a full body system check. Every step is a test of coordination, endurance, joint integrity, circulation, lung capacity, and mental presence. If something's off, walking will reveal it. A stiff hip, a weakened ankle, a foggy mind, a heart that's lost its rhythm, a gait that's become hesitant instead of strong. But if you're still able to move smoothly, you're not just physically mobile, you're neurologically intact. That matters more than most people realize. Endurance isn't just about how far you can go. It's about how many systems in your body are still willing to cooperate. Your brain has to plan the route. Your heart has to keep pace. Your lungs have to pull in and exchange air. Your blood vessels need to expand and contract. Your muscles fire in sequence. Your joints absorb impact. And your balance keeps everything centered. This isn't just exercise. It's a symphony. And when you can walk briskly for 15 minutes, you're still conducting that symphony with precision. When walking becomes painful, when your hips burn, your knees swell, your back tightens, or your body just doesn't respond the way it used to, then something shifted. The power of walking. When walking becomes painful, when your hips burn, your knees swell, your back tightens, or your breath shortens, it's not just aging, it's your body waving a flag, signaling that something's off. It could be inflammation, weak glutes, poor posture, shallow breathing, or even cognitive fatigue. The worst mistake you can make is to accept that pain as permanent. Here's the truth. The moment walking becomes a chore, the walls of life start to close in. Why? Because walking is freedom. It's how you get to the bathroom safely. It's how you make your own coffee in the morning. It's how you go to the store, visit a friend, step into the sunlight. When walking hurts, when it's limited, so does your world. Your radius shrinks. You stop going out. You stop exploring. You start saying no. You start avoiding stares. You lean on others more. Little by little, your independence slips away. Walking, a diagnostic and treatment tool. But here's the power in walking. It's both a diagnostic tool and a treatment. If it hurts, it tells you where to work. If you avoid it, your body deteriorates faster. But if you embrace it with patience, structure, and intention, it becomes a form of medicine. And unlike pills, it has no side effects. A consistent walking practice restores balance, circulation, memory, mobility, and even digestion. Yes, your gut improves when you walk. So does your mood. So does your sleep. So does your confidence. The body was built to walk, not just for transportation, but for preservation. Your hips are shaped to stride. Your knees are designed to bend and propel. Your spine is aligned for motion. When you give your body that motion daily, gently, consistently, you signal to every system, we're still here, we're still working, we're still capable. Walking for longevity. This isn't about speed. It's about pace, a steady, moderate pace, where you can still speak but feel your body warming, your breath deepening, and your mind focusing. That's the zone where healing happens. That's where you build longevity. Not in gyms, not on machines, not with aggressive protocols, just by putting on your shoes and saying, let's go. If you can't walk for 15 minutes today, that's okay. Start with 5, then 7. Build slowly, adding a few minutes each week. Track how you feel, not just in your legs, but in your mind. You might find that the fog lifts, the anxiety softens, the tension eases, because movement doesn't just stretch the body, it stretches the soul. It gives you back a piece of agency that time may have taken away. Protecting the gift of walking. If you're already walking 15 minutes a day, protect that gift. Don't let comfort steal it. Keep walking, vary your route, add a hill if you're able. Walk with a friend, walk in silence, walk with intention. Every step you take is a statement. I'm still in control, I'm still participating, I'm still living, not just surviving. The true value of walking. Once you lose your ability to walk comfortably, everything else becomes harder. Getting up, getting dressed, traveling, socializing, moving, all become negotiations. Life becomes smaller. But if you can walk without pain, even for just 15 minutes, your future is still wide open. So treat your walk as sacred, not as a task, but as a testament to your endurance, your capacity, and your commitment to stay alive in every way that matters. The power of sleep. 15 minutes of walking may not seem like much, but being able to sleep through the night without medication is a different kind of power. It doesn't wear a medal. It doesn't make headlines, but it changes everything. Quietly, steadily, night after night. The ability to fall asleep naturally and stay asleep without pills, without constant waking, and without the groggy, drugged feeling in the morning. Just deep, healing, unassisted rest that restores your body in the most profound way. And if you're still able to do that after 70, that's not luck. That's a superpower. The importance of restorative sleep. Most people don't realize how critical sleep becomes in later years, not just as rest, but as recovery. As we age, our bodies shift, hormones decline, the nervous system becomes more sensitive, pain lingers longer, inflammation creeps in quietly, and the one time of day when the body is programmed to repair itself is at night, but only if it's given the chance to reach deep sleep. That rich slow wave state, where the brain clears debris, muscles heal, and the immune system gets a full reboot. Yet for most older adults, this kind of sleep becomes rare. They wake every 2 hours, they lie in bed staring at the ceiling, they toss and turn, adjust pillows, drink water and eventually resort to medication. And while sleeping pills may offer temporary relief, they come at a cost. Many sedatives don't induce natural sleep cycles, they induce unconsciousness, which lacks the neurochemical benefits of real, restorative sleep. Over time this disrupts memory, damages focus, weakens immunity and increases the risk of cognitive decline. Protecting the gift of sleep. If you are still sleeping 6 to 8 hours straight, without pills or aids, that's not just good enough, it's exceptional. It means your body still recognizes its circadian rhythm. It still knows when to shut down and when to reawaken. It means your brain is cycling through all the vital stages of sleep. Deep sleep, REM, and returning you to consciousness with energy and clarity. This kind of sleep is protective. It clears toxins from the brain, including beta amyloid, the compound linked to Alzheimer. It balances cortisol, the stress hormone that inflames the body and disturbs blood sugar. It releases growth hormone, which aids in tissue repair, bone strength and immune defense. And most importantly, it restores emotional regulation, which is why well-rested people are calmer, sharper and more resilient, especially in the face of change, loss or physical challenges. How to maintain unassisted sleep. If you're wondering how to maintain or regain the gift of unassisted sleep, know this. It starts long before bedtime. It begins with light exposure during the day, especially sunlight in the morning, which tells your body it's time to be awake and sets the rhythm for when to wind down at night. It involves movement, light walking or stretching, which clears cortisol and promotes melatonin later on. It includes nutrition, avoiding sugar and caffeine late in the day, and getting enough magnesium, healthy fats, and hydration earlier on. And it's built around consistency, going to bed and waking at the same time every day, even on weekends. The role of stillness in sleep. But perhaps the most overlooked factor is this. your relationship with stillness. Many seniors carry stress into bed, unspoken fears, regrets, loops of memory or future dread. Without a way to process that tension, it lingers in the nervous system, preventing deep rest. So build in a ritual journal, breathe deeply, turn off the TV and the phone an hour before bed, stretch, pray, or listen to calming music. Let your system know, we are done for today. It's safe to let go. The truth is, you can't force sleep, but you can invite it. You can create the conditions for your body to relax. The power of sleep. Sleep does what no medicine can. It restores you without effort, heals you silently and strengthens you from the inside out. If you've lost the ability to sleep well, don't panic, but don't ignore it either. It's not just a normal part of aging, it's often a sign of imbalance in blood sugar, hormones, emotional stress, or nervous system regulation. The good news, all of those can be improved. You don't need to live in a constant state of exhaustion. You don't have to get used to feeling foggy. Start rebuilding slowly. Remove the alcohol, add magnesium, lower the lights, keep your room cool and introduce stillness. Then, give your body the message it's been waiting for. You're safe now, it's time to rest. Protecting your sleep. If you're one of the lucky or rather disciplined few who still sleep through the night with nothing in your system but breath and peace, protect that sleep with everything you have. Because that sleep is not just rest, it's medicine, it's memory protection, it's mood regulation, it's the difference between surviving and thriving. Don't underestimate it. Don't trade it for late night screens, extra caffeine or shallow comfort. Protect your sleep, because if you sleep well at 70, you'll move better at 75, think clearer at 80, stand taller at 85, and be fully alive at 90. It all starts when the lights go out, and your body says, I've got this. That's a sign of brain health. This simple test is actually profound. The longer you can stand on one leg without wobbling, the sharper your reflexes and coordination. This reduces fall risk, which is one of the biggest health risks after 7. Try it daily and train it like a life skill. Emotional health is physical health. You can say no without guilt. That's emotional health. If you can set boundaries, protect your energy, and say no to what drains you, you're aging with wisdom. People who stay mentally clear and emotionally centered live longer, not because they avoid stress, but because they stop inviting it. The power of curiosity. You can still learn something new. That's a rare gem. The mind that stays curious. If you're still learning new skills, technologies, languages or hobbies, your brain is staying young. Neuroplasticity doesn't end with age. It ends when you stop feeding your brain. If you're 70, 80 and still learning, your brain is still building, and the body follows the brain.